Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. Listen, if you are buying a turntable and it's anything other than a suitcase player or a wooden all-in-one or something with a ceramic cartridge, you need a Phono Preamp. Here is a very cool one we've reviewed in the past from iFi. This is the ZEN Phono Preamp. Very hefty metal casing. It's got the capability to power a moving coil as well as a moving magnetic cartridge. It even has an AI subsonic filter that will allow you to eliminate platter rumble from your sound system with the push of a button. This is a great Phono preamp. Very rugged, very durable. This is about a $200 device. And if you would like a very nice Phono preamp such as this, but don't have $200 to spare, they now have the iFi ZEN Air Phono Preamp for half the cost. You're not going to want to miss this.
Welcome to Record-ology.
So if you are filtering out platter rumble, you run the risk of also filtering out bass frequencies that you want to keep, and that's where the AI comes into play, because this filters out the unwanted rumble frequencies from a warped record player, warped platter, without filtering out the wanted bass. So I love these guys' products. So far I've been very pleased with it. This unit is completely budget driven, which is cool. I mean, this is a budget channel, and one of the biggest things they've done is, instead of, there's a warranty card by the way, instead of making it out of metal like their other products are, this one is made out of plastic. So the housing is similar shape, it's got a cool texture, but that is plastic instead. We'll go ahead and take off the protective film there. Looks gorgeous. Yep, you still get the subsonic filter. It still supports moving coil and moving magnetic cartridges. Taking the protective film off the back. From a specification standpoint, it specs out pretty close to the regular ZEN Phono preamp. It's not quite there in terms of the specification. It's very, very close. Here's a comparison of the two. You can see that there's a couple more gain settings on the regular version that the budget version, the Air, doesn't have. But you can do both moving coil and moving magnetic. Both run off of a 5-volt barrel power supply. Both have the gold tipped connectors, the grounding post, etc., etc. The budget unit does not have the balanced input there, but pretty much a similar experience. Most people are probably going to be very pleased with what they can get with this budget model. I think this is a great idea. This is brilliant to get a product in this range that is down at that sweet spot, $100. So what else is included in the package? Reviews on this seem to be pretty good on Amazon. Some people said that the USB cord is short. Looks like it is. So you will probably want to invest in another cable, another power supply. This is like a 3-foot, like a 1 meter, maybe not even that, more like 2.5 feet power supply. You have to provide the brick. They don't provide that. But again, that's how they're getting the cost of this unit down to where it is. It's pretty much a set it and forget it kind of device. You're not really fiddling with it on the daily. You can obviously power it on and off from the front, turn on and off that subsonic filter, but that's about it. It's a set it and forget it type of device. So I want to talk use case here. We're going to look at a common turntable, and we're going to use that turntable as a test subject to listen to this unit. I just realized that in addition to the warranty card, they include this cool little sticker. I love stickers. That's awesome. Cool to see that kind of stuff included. So if you get a new turntable, it probably has a built-in Phono preamp. So why would you want to buy an external Phono preamp? More on that in a minute. If you're buying or have a vintage unit, you're going to have to get an external Phono preamp. They did not come with them. That is a relatively new development. This Audio-Technica LP60, by the way, let's remove the cover, does indeed have an internal preamp. So why would you want to add an external one? Part of what makes the vinyl listening experience interesting is how you can fiddle and adjust different aspects of the overall listening experience. You can change out cartridges. Okay, maybe this wasn't the best turntable for that because you can't actually upgrade this cartridge. But on many turntables, you can upgrade the cartridge. You can upgrade the platter mat. You can upgrade the turntable itself, the speakers. There's a lot going on there. And another aspect of that is the preamp. So the preamp circuit that is in here is going to be a lot more basic than one on an external phono preamp like the iFi ZEN Air Phono Preamp. There's a lot more going on here. It has a subsonic filter. And one of the things I think is cool that iFi does is they identify some of their third-party manufacturers. So they make a big deal out of the fact this includes Panasonic and TDK capacitors and very high-end components that they like to put into that. By the way, you will still find those high-end internals even on this budget unit. So let's spin around and look at the back of this guy and see how we can bypass our built-in phono preamp. So you're not going to find a switch that says built-in phono preamp on and off. At least I don't think I've ever seen that, but maybe it is out there. What you're going to see is a line and phono switch. So in line mode, it sends out line level voltage, meaning the internal phono preamp is enacted. It is being used. And if you want to bypass that, just flip it to phono, which is going to output, you guessed it, a phono level signal so that the external phono preamp can do that amplification. So the LP60 doesn't have an RCA left and right output. It has an analog out that's on a 1/8" TRS. So we're going to plug in the cable right there. On one end, we've got the 1/8" TRS, and on the other end, we've got the stereo RCA leads, as you can see there. And we're going to scoot this out of the way. So we're going to take the preamp and connect the other end of that cable. Now, most turntables that have a selectable phono and line level output will also have a grounding wire. In addition to the left and right stereo jacks, there will be a grounding wire, and you would just unscrew this and tighten that back down so that the grounding could be done in here. Typically, if you're outputting a line level signal straight into powered speakers or straight into a sound system, you don't need a grounding post. That's done internally. But if you're doing it externally, guess what? You need to ground it out. This turntable probably grounds it out, shielded on the left channel RCA. That's been done on a couple of them. Crosley does that on the C100, C200, I believe. And then the other connection is the output. So this comes in phono level and it comes out line level. So when it comes out line level, it's now ready to be plugged into powered speakers or a stereo sound system. So that's what will go in there. And obviously I need to power it up as well. Using an external phono preamp will give you a fairly minimal boost in sound quality, if any. So it's not going to be a, oh my gosh, this is a world of difference, at least on the range of speakers and things that most people will be using. And I'll be using, in my daily world, speakers that are, $300 or less. If you've got $100,000 speakers, that's probably a different story. But for the most part, you're going to notice a nominal change in sound quality. So I've reviewed a lot of phono preamps, and that's just my experience. And that's irregardless of the turntable, et cetera, et cetera. It's just a minimal thing. Okay, so this is the setup. I am going to film the record playing, and on screen you're going to see whether it's internal or external. This is going to be a little bit of behind the scenes for you here, but I need to use a step-down headphone amplifier because the device I use to record for direct feeds is this Zoom digital audio recorder. The problem being that the line input that it has is actually a mic level input. So if I connect this directly, it'll be all kinds of distorted. So what I need to do is actually connect this off camera to a set of powered speakers I have with a variable output. This is a direct feed, and let's give it a listen. Let's see if we can hear a difference, and then I'll be back at the end. I'll let you know my thoughts. Headphones on, everybody. This is a stereo direct feed. Enjoy the music. That was really interesting. You know, like I said, it's a very minimal difference. It's not a large difference by any means. That being said, with the iFi, I personally did hear a tiny bit more high end, a little bit more resolution in the upper frequencies. I didn't really notice any difference on the low end, but overall it sounded a little bit more dynamic. Again, unless I was going back and forth, I probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But I do think this is a good phono preamp. And if you've got an older turntable, you don't even have the choice of an internal preamp, this is a good buy for $100. I'll put a link down below, and in the description I will include the specifications if you want to look at those. Well, my friends, that is going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this show very much. If you were very entertained by this video, consider hitting the thanks button down below, guys. All right, God bless, happy record hunting, and we'll see you next time.